Joining us on the program now, Tom O'Neill from cv.co.nz. Tom, kia ora. Thanks for your time today.
Morena, my dear friend.
This is a tricky one, isn't it? And thank you for drawing attention to this, because particularly in a tough job market, people are desperate. People are hoping that they are going to get work, or perhaps they're not happy in their current job and somebody's just offered them a lot more money and benefits. People are quick to leap on this one without necessarily checking the details. Is this a relatively new thing? Is this a new way they've found to scam us?
It's amazing because, the new way is obviously with the digital. But I remember I was in my 20s, early mid-20s, so a little while ago. And I had, someone reach out to me. I don't know how they got my details, but I was desperate for a job. Desperate.
Yeah.
And, they invited me to an interview and it was all great, fantastic. And I got there and it was about, it was a multi-level marketing.
Ah, yes.
And I was just heartbroken. I just push stuff aside, taking time off from this and that just to get there.
Yep.
And then found it was basically, hey, look, do you want to sell this? And, you can make lots of money. And so it's been going around for ages. It really has. But it's just a new way of doing it these days.
Now, in terms of access, because, the internet has made the work of scammers so much more opportunities, of course. And for some people, we have some of our private information already online. In fact, particularly for LinkedIn, we want to be out there. We want to be in the public domain. Is that how people are hacking the system and getting our attention in some ways through Facebook, through LinkedIn? This is the portal?
Absolutely. The problem is sort of a catch-22. If you don't put your information out there, you don't look very trustworthy to employers.
Yep.
If you put all your information out there, now you become, potentially scam bait.
Yep.
End of the day. I'd always err on having the information out there for your employment. At the same time, just be super wise in terms of, people reaching out to you. Scammers are very, very smart. I heard of one story where a scammer looked at a person's LinkedIn. They were chief financial officer, found out who was the person who reported to them, and then went on their Facebook page and found that the CFO was going away on holiday.
Oh.
So they sent an email to the accounts person, long story short, saying, hey, I'm on the plane. I need you to send this money quickly. Sorry, I'll be in contact Monday.
Wow.
And the accounts person did, because there was all this detail about, hey, I'll get you a koala, as I promised, and all this sort of stuff that was on Facebook. And so, again, got to be so conscious.
Yeah, and honestly, anytime somebody says, there's a great job for you, but firstly, I need your bank account details, I need your PIN number, what's your passwords, and by the way, a $10,000 deposit, just so that we can, make sure your office is spruced up. I mean, alarm bells should be starting to go long before you get to that point, right?
Look, amen. Yeah. Well, what normally happens in the employment relationship is they pay you.
Yes.
Andrew. Not us play the employer. So that would be the biggest alarm bell, to be fair. But the problem is they prey on people's desperation. Yeah. I mean, I remember, never forget, I was desperate when this company reached out to me. Mm-hmm. Absolutely desperate. And, it was, it's just, that's where people are. Also, people, they prey on people's pride as well. If you're going well and things are going well, people can reach out and go, heard about great things on you in LinkedIn, heard about great things in you in the market. And a lot of the time that'll be a legitimate recruiter, and that's great, and take and run with that. Sometimes it's not. So it's always good. So when you've had that initial discussion, obviously find out the company they work for, then phone that company back on their landline and make sure that consultant actually works there. Mm-hmm. Then try and get through to them, just confirm if they've come to you in that way.
As you say, though, our ego gets in the way. We think, oh, gosh, isn't this nice? This person recognizes my genius. Finally, maybe I'll be able to get a job where somebody doesn't take me for granted. This This is one of the hot buttons to push when it comes to scamming people. And it is that balance, isn't it? Because you don't want to be suspicious of everybody. You do want to take some things at face value, but also, I suppose, if it is a genuine recruiting offer, if it's a genuine reach out from another company that's looking to headhunt you, they won't mind you being diligent. They won't mind you, I suppose, going through the process. That's not going to look suspicious. That's just going to look wise to them, I imagine.
Yeah, it's due diligence.
Yeah.
You know, particularly at that first point where the recruiter reaches out. You know, it could be anybody. I mean, unfortunately, now I'm at that point where anyone from Spark or Telecom phones, I just don't believe them. So that causes its own problems. You know, in that context, it's about, just trying to be wise. You know, trust, but verify at the end of the day. You know, hey, look, you know, it sounds legit. Okay, great. But again, verify. You know, check out them online. You know, scammers do put up, you know, fake LinkedIn profiles. You know, we get that. But obviously, it's impossible for them to, you know, well, not impossible, but almost impossible for them to hack into the consultancy's landline and then somehow magically be diverted to them. So in that context, landlines, believe it or not, these days, actually have a lot of value.
They do, and hey, that may come as a surprise to a lot of people who've just said landlines, who needs it, that's something that can come off my bill every month. But actually, if it's a legitimate business, they're going to have some way that you can verify them, and there's going to be ways in which you can do that due diligence. You can put those checks and balances in place, and like I say, if you respond thoroughly to any offer, that's not going to backfire. They're not going to go, oh, well, if you're going to be like that, we're not going to offer you the job. That's going to show you positively in their eyes, not negatively, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to work for a company that gets all put out of joint because you actually did your due diligence and they reached out to you. The other thing I would say is be careful of mobiles, you know.
Okay.
I personally use mobiles all the time, you know. But when I need to verify, I use landlines, you know. So if you're dealing with a recruiter and their mobile number is blah, 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 that's great. But then after the conversation, be all positive, but then phone back in the consultancy and speak to the receptionist. Make sure they're there, and if you want, even be put through to them.
Yeah. No, that's a very good wisdom and advice indeed. And hey, plenty more of that available at cv.co.nz. Tom, really appreciate your wisdom and advice in this area. Thank you so much for sharing that with us and for joining us today.
Always a pleasure, mate. God bless.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.